So you want to jump in, Travis?
Yeah. Just a quick intro. Obviously, I'm Travis McClure. For some of you who haven't met me, I'm the COO here at Easy Home Search. Preston and I are going to jump on here today. Just kind of talk about our roadmap. A lot has evolved with Easy Home Search. I'll say since the first of the year, we rolled out things like Easy Verify, but of course our Easy Connect FUB widget. Preston and I were kind of talking a little bit this morning. Our company really evolved from, 6 months ago. Our main item of value was we were a lead gen company. Now we're a tech company that is providing a better way to discover real estate and a better way to convert leads that are in your database. So Preston's gonna kind of talk about, where we've come so far this year and then what to expect, I would say, over the next 60 to 90 days, pretty much into our third quarter this year. We're going to continue the evolution and the track that we're on, and providing just items of value for agents to just run their business more efficiently. Press, I'll let you take it from there.
Sweet, man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy, for coming in. The one thing I went over and I think a lot of us will don't spend enough time looking back and seeing, where how far we've come and where we've come from. So I put together kind of a roadmap, and we really just highlighted the bigger things we launched. Like if we did it, every little thing that we've launched at Easy Home Search over the last year, it would have been 20 pages of information. And really want to, focus on this kind of slide we did for some other a deck we recently built. But May 1st of last year was the first exclusivity team we launched. We launched some in like testing before that, but really like generating revenue. It was May 1st of last year. In June, we Easy Home Search was originally built. We built it under a different platform. We worked with a company to actually build the software. It was just myself and another company working together to build it. We launched that in June of 23. And then in beginning of last year, we in June or January of 24, we brought on a full-time CTO, and we're like, hey, we can't have somebody else managing our website. So we brought all that in-house. So in June of last year, we launched the platform that actually we own, we built. We continue to build everything. We own all the software we build, but that actually launched in June of last year, and it's called Elasticsearch. It allows you to search databases much faster because if we're adding hundreds of MLSs, we need to be able to, when somebody types in a query, it needs to populate something really quickly. So we launched that in January of last year. Was a big change from the website we had. It was a lot faster when we launched it. In August of last year, we updated the listing details page. So like originally, like a lot of listing details pages you see on websites, the photos are at the top. They all look the same. You start scrolling down, the photos disappear. The way we launched the listing details page now is you have all the photos on the right side. The left-hand side is the description and the content. As you scroll, if you're looking at this description, you still see photos. As you scroll the photos, you always see photos. And the idea with that is like people at the end of the day, they want to see photos. Like they want to see pictures of houses. Not a very small percentage will get into actually the description and get into the details you see. I think a lot of home search portals do too much with all the content they put on the pages that a lot of people don't really look at. Some do, but a majority of the time when they get to that level of searching, they're working with a real estate agent. So the idea with that is when they're on the desktop, we always wanted them to see photos, be able to click on photos and look at more photos. So we changed that in August of last year. In September last year, we launched the AVM tool. So now you go to Easy Home Search, easyhomesearch.com. What is my home worth? You could type in 93 million addresses. We could populate and pull up a home value based on that address. We have about 80% of townhomes across the country, multifamily. So we launched that in September. In October, we hired a senior app developer, which works for Easy Home Search. We actually have two now. Well, three. We just brought on another one. So we started working on the consumer app October of last year, and that's going to be launched by October of this year. November, we reached 170 MLSs. We updated consumer dashboard. We added a cash offer partnership with Homeward, and we began developing Easy Verify actually in December, not November. Um, December, we deployed more updates. It was the first month we surpassed 400,000 in monthly recurring revenue in December of last year. And then early January, we launched Easy Verify. Um, and that's a widget inside of Follow Up Boss now. Um, in February, we did more widget design. We launched the Follow Up Boss widget for the Easy Connect accounts. Well, I shouldn't say Easy Connect, all accounts, right? Like if you're an exclusivity partner, you have access to the widget. That widget is a lot different today than it was 2 months ago. It's a lot different today than it was a month ago. That was the first month. February this year was the first month we surpassed 20,000 monthly signups. So in 1 month, we had 20,000 people, new registrations on Easy Home Search. March, we launched the widget with the updates of the home value pages. You can now generate the open house pages. And then we started building the review landing page, which the review landing page, if anybody's using that, that's now on the widget as well. Um, yeah, and that's, I don't know, we're still, again, we generated over 20,000 leads last month. And that's kind of the cool thing is like looking back. So if you ask me this, and this comes up a lot, it's like, oh, it's just pay-per-click leads. No, it's not. Like if I showed you the numbers over the last 60 days, we've had 27,000 leads come in through ads. We've had another 9,000 come in through organic search. So organic search meaning direct traffic, meaning your buddy shares it, they sign up, or they've been looking because we don't force somebody organic to sign up. So they've been looking, and at that point they decide, hey, I want to put my information in. I want to sign up because I want to make an inquiry. So we've become a lot more than just leads, and we'll continue to evolve and, really focused the second half of this year, really focused on the app development. But we're also doing other things. We're launching a loan officer connect account next month where we're building out a national loan officer directory where loan officers can now generate leads through Easy Home Search through like pre-approvals and things like that. Like it doesn't take away from the real estate agents. It just gives them a way to generate leads on their own. The beauty of that is like we're generating another revenue source. Like I always look at what can I do to generate more revenue where we can continue to build products for real estate teams and companies and we don't have to raise the prices on them. Because so often you see companies launch new products, new offerings. Every time they do that, a new price update comes out, or like this is that much, or I'm going to say this feature is this much more. That's what we're not doing. That's why we're doing loan officer, the connect accounts, which will be a national loan officer directory. It'll be like a minimal fee for them to join that to be in the directory, and those pages are indexed, which then brings in more traffic to Easy Home Search. And the other thing we're launching home service directory as well. Same thing there. Home services are, you think of somebody, your average roof price. We're building out the software now where we could generate the price of a roof based on aerial photo. So somebody could go on the site and populate that, or they sign up for a free roof inspection. And we're focused on educating them on why they need a roof inspection and on top of a home inspection, right? Because now conventional loans, if you have a loose shingle or a roofing damage, you can't get a conventional loan anymore. So that's another revenue source we're looking at, and that allows us to continue building at a faster pace, continue to bring in more revenue, continue to bring in more eyeballs to Easy Home Search. So, our goal is like at some point, instead of being 26,000 leads that came in over the last 60 days through paid ads, it's 20,000 leads that came in through organic and direct, and another 20,000 that came in through paid. And there's hundreds of thousands of people using the consumer app, which will launch by October this year. Um, so that's kind of like our focus of what we're focused on, for the rest of the years. We'll continue to make tweaks and changes. We're working on the widget now in Follow Up Boss where there would be a button where you click on that, it opens up the widget in front of Follow Up Boss. So it's a separate window so you have more room to work in. You could easily create saved searches. It doesn't cover it, you still see Follow Up Boss, but if you're doing a save search on a small, say, laptop screen, there's not it gets a little crammed. So we're doing something there where you click on it, it opens it up, and you'll be able to make a save search based in that area, or be able to use the widget in a way that expands it and it's not such a tight area. Um, And something else we're launching in the next couple of weeks is if anybody has any questions while I'm rambling, please speak up. Um, Another thing we're launching in the next couple of weeks is the Easy Nurture. So any lead source, it doesn't matter where it comes in. If there's a search value, if there's a zip code, and that information is passed into Follow Up Boss it comes in as like a search inquiry or property inquiry. And it's not really a property inquiry, it's just the information passes through. We're going to automatically create saved searches that invite them to use a easy home search. So you don't have to do anything. Like if you have leads coming in through whoever it may be, Realtor.com or Zillow or Redfin or whatever it may be, if that information comes in, we can then automatically create an email and it'll say, hey, we want to invite you to use Easy Home Search as a way to, Jamie from Reset Real Estate has invited you to use Easy Home Search as a way to search properties, no matter if that lead it comes in through any kind of lead flow. Because we want to help y'all put all the leads in one place and searching in one place. And, people that are coming to Easy Home Search are spending a lot of time there now. They're doing a lot of, I was looking at somebody on the last call I was on. There was a lead that came in yesterday, looked at 151 properties, and I see that often. Like, so people are enjoying the search, and we're going to continue building something that's simple for consumers to use. You're going to see a lot more AI stuff coming out in the coming months. We're going to have an AI search query where somebody could type in what they're looking for. Like once we're finally in Hawaii, Dano, we'll be like, hey, I want a house within a mile of the ocean in Maui or wherever it may be. And they could type that query in and it'll populate listings based on that because we're going to use the Reso feed to populate the AI that learns information. And then we could use boundary data and property data to say, okay, the ocean is X miles from this property. Those are a lot of the things we're working on as well. Um, Something else I made an offer yesterday to an email deliverability manager who is going to help us build out. We're actually building out some software called SureSend.ai, which is email deliverability software, but he's going to do all that inside of Easy Home Search. Like so all the things that I focus on, I'm trying to, I enjoy that. Like I enjoy that, but at some point I need some help. So like, the 3, 4 hours, 2 hours I spend on that in the mornings, he's going to be focused on that. He's a badass. Like he's good. I mean, he was at SendGrid, he was at Microsoft. He's with a national NBA sports team now and handles their deliverability for their franchise. So I'm in negotiations to hire him, which, then you look at like, and most people don't realize this, how many of your e-alerts are actually being sent. If you're sending from other vendors or if you're sending your own, like a lot of people don't realize how bad their email deliverability is. So we're focused on making sure, that's why like people keep asking about like, can we invite our whole database to Easy Home Search? We want to be able to do that, but we have to be careful because if we just took your database and did a massive invite from our email domain, we'd get flagged and we'd end up spam and we end up trying to crawl out of a hole again. So the whole idea with that is we're looking at ways to, yes, we want to be able to do that. Yes, we want y'all to be able to invite 2, 3,000, 4,000, 500, whatever it is, people to search at one time. But we also have to be responsible because the last thing we want to do is have that ability and then people take advantage of that ability and then it just burns everybody else. So that's something we're looking at adding. We just want to be responsible because the last thing we want to do is, yeah, we're sending out all these e-alerts, but only 2% of them are getting open, where right now our e-alerts are about 32% open rate, about a 5% click-through rate. So for every emails we send, about 5% are actually clicking on properties and going, but 32% of them are actually being opened. It's our goal to get that number to closer to 40 to 50 by the end of the year, which is the industry average is, I don't even know. They say it's 20%. I think it's probably closer to like 10 or 15. Um, but yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if I left anything out, Travis.
I'm gonna I'm gonna ask you a question, but the email deliverability, I think, is like quietly one of the biggest items of value that we offer. We always send alerts from our easy email domain on behalf of the agent team that the lead is assigned to and follow up us. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah,
Email
it's,
deliverability.
yeah, I mean, it's the, and we, I mean, We did it bad at first too. Like luckily we didn't dig a massive hole because we didn't opt in 100,000 people. We just a lot of it. There's so much science behind email deliverability now, and most teams don't have the ability to pay somebody $200,000 a year to manage it, right? Like, so those are the things we're going to do, and we're going to make sure emails can continue to be delivered. But yeah, and with all the things we're doing too, like in then when the app launches, like we're going to have people using the app, all that's funneling into Follow Up Boss, all that activity. But then we got to be able to invite people to the app with making sure those emails land in the inbox as well. But yeah, it is definitely a massive part of what we're doing, and it's what we're focused on to just continue to get better at.
Preston, one thing I think is important for you to touch on, and I see a great mix on this call of teams, exclusive partners, solo agents. Myself and Victor have had great conversations with. Um, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, our only offering was full county exclusivity. Now
Mhm.
we have this easy team connect, easy agent connect. We get questions a lot about like, hey, what's the difference? How does this affect me if I'm a full exclusive partner? Talk us through that. Obviously, full exclusivity is still our foundation of our company, but talk through that, Preston. Like, what's the difference there?
Yeah, I mean, full exclusivity, what I tell people is like there's a lot of agent and team branding that goes on the website if they're searching in those markets. So listing in that market. You'll see a lot more in the consumer app too, like where you see preferred partner and if it's exclusive partner, you're going to see that in the app as well. So as they're searching for properties, they'll see that on there. Um, but really, as the organic and direct traffic grows, what that means is like, if I'm an exclusive partner and we're generating 200 organic leads in that county, all those organic leads go to that exclusive partner, right? So as the exclusivity, as organic traffic grows, as the direct traffic grows, that exclusivity partnership is going to become more and more valuable because as we're generating more organic leads, we're not going to charge you more money for exclusivity. It's just you're getting more leads for what you're paying for. Where at Easy Connect, we were building out so much tech that's useful tech, that's helpful, it's simple to use. A majority of the stuff inside the widget is one click and you launch a landing page. Um, I wanted to give access, and we want to give access to other teams and companies and agents to use that. So, like an Easy Connect account, they don't necessarily have to be getting lead gen from us. They could be doing it on their own. They could be sharing a page through an email or whatever it may be, but it gives them access to the open house landing page, the team and agent page landing page, the review landing pages, the open house landing pages, home value, gives them access to all that. And it also creates an indexed page on Easy Home Search, meaning like if it's an agent and maybe somebody searches that market and that agent's page shows up, they land on that page, it's assigned to that agent or team. So the big difference would be, the branding with exclusivity, but also the big thing is the organic leads, right? Organic direct. All those leads are assigned to that exclusivity partner. And then the connect teams, we could still generate leads for them, on a smaller budget. Like the budget's $400 if they want a marketing spend, and it's every $400. Like if they wanted buyer and seller leads, they'd be spending $800, 400 going to buyer, 400 going to seller, and we'd generate leads to their actual agent landing page or their home value landing page. So that's the way we're able to separate because if they come in through the main Easy Home Search landing page or the website, they'd be assigned to that exclusivity partner. Does that break it down enough?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
obviously it's something that we need to go into a call and show because like I could spit off home value landing pages and all these things, but most people don't really know what that means or what it looks like. But that's really the reason why. And we also understand the market. Like, there's not a whole lot of companies out there spending. I mean, we have 70, 80 exclusive counties sold, 90, whatever the number is. And we just wanted to give other people access that can't necessarily spend 10 grand or 6 grand or 5 grand a month. So, the other thing we did too is, and we're not starting to sell zip codes, but some of the bigger counties, like you take the Maricopa County, you take LA County, which LA County is 10 million people that live there, and I don't understand why they do. Sorry, Michael. But but those bigger counties, we really need to look at a way to split those counties up. So now what we did was we're able to split up counties based on zip codes, but don't don't assume that means we're going to split up a 300,000 or 400,000 population county. It's not going to happen. It's more for like the, counties that have 1 million people in it, right? And, we want to be able to, yeah, like Maricopa County has what, 3, 4 million people? I don't know what it is. It really should be a county that should be 50,000 a month, but nobody's going to pay 50,000 a month. With the amount of leads we could generate in that market, we could generate enough leads. But those are, those bigger markets, we came up with a way where we could actually assign leads based on zip codes. And all that means they could be searching in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and one zip code's 29577, the other one's 29579, and maybe we split it in that county. And we're not splitting Horry County. I'm just using that example. The one that was 29577 would go to one team. The ones that's 29579 would go to another team. Um, but yeah, that's something we just actually, I think he told me this week we had that available, ready. But I mean, that's part of it. Like we're always looking at, we're always listening to feedback and listening to what teams are saying. Like not all of them make a whole lot of sense. So we don't necessarily do all of them, but some of them do. It's little things like we had a team that wanted to be able to search by 55 and older communities. And that one makes sense. And it was something we probably just overlooked at when we looked at the features. But it was something we added pretty quickly. So.
Preston, one thing I just wanted to touch on quick. I think one of the biggest things our development team is working on right now is obviously the app, right? There's a consumer facing side of that, which is huge. And then, of course, there'll be the agent and team facing side of it. What are some of the expectations around that third quarter when that launches? Like what are some of the functionality we should see and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. Like the agent facing app, it will allow the agents to create a saved search on their phone. It'll allow them to edit the contact, to put in notes. Like there's some things obviously the Follow Up Boss app can't do. Like you can't open an embedded widget inside of the app. So if it's an embedded widget, you can't see that in Follow Up Boss app. The Easy app, agent app, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to the cool thing is you'll be able to make notes in the app and it'll push those notes in the Follow Up Boss. So like if you're creating a saved search, and you're like, hey, I just want to do this in here. I want to put notes in. It'll push that information to Follow Up Boss. The other thing it allows us to do, like loan officers, a lot of, especially on the home services side, they don't have a way to intake leads. Like, say we had somebody that wanted a free roof inspection or whatever it may be. A lot of times they don't have ways to intake leads, so the functionality will be a little bit different. It'll be the same thing. It'll be a easy app for the agents, and they'll be able to look at the lead, call the lead, text the lead. They'll be able to do all that inside the app. Now, the texting and the calling would just be a button they push, and it would call from their cell phone. The texting would same thing. It would open up, and they would text through their actual cell phone. Where the consumer app, like if a consumer, there's going to be some chat inside the consumer app where if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you do have an iPhone and you look at the way your iPhone looks, like your messaging, where you could pin somebody at the top, the chat within the consumer app is going to be the same way. They'll be able to pin. So think about it on the agent side. You're going to pin a hot lead at the top, and that conversation is all going to funnel. Like I would open it up from like my phone, open it up, and it opens up the conversation. It's going to be built just like that, but it's going to be happening in an app. So that consumer can invite a lender, or like the agent can invite a lender. If I'm shopping with whoever, if Travis and I are buying a house together, it's kind of weird, but say we're buying a house together, I could invite Travis, and he and I, as consumers, could search together and say we end up, meeting Dano because we want to buy a house in Hawaii. I could add Dano into that conversation. It's all happening inside the app, and it's not. The cool thing about that is, like, if you think about, people always complain about text messages not going through to Follow Up Boss, or going out or calling people and it lands in spam. The beauty of this messaging, it happens inside the app. so it's not blocked. It's going into your agent app if they invite you there. It's going into the consumer if it's a consumer app. They're talking to their spouse or whoever it may be. They can continue that conversation. They could add properties into that. They give them a thumbs up, thumbs down. They could like properties. They could do all those things from inside of that chat window. So yeah, I mean that's obviously the biggest. I mean, we're doing all these other things, but like that's the biggest focus for us is to get that launched because it was originally we are hoping to have it done in June, July, but it's going to. I say Q3. It might be the last day of Q3. We might have to work 1,000 hours the last month to get it done, but it'll be. I mean, it's functioning now. It's just there's a ton of functionality in the app that still has to be built. So um, it'll be out in Q3 at some point. And that's another thing. It doesn't cost you any more money. You could, you invite somebody to it. There's whoever you invite to it is assigned to that agent. Your agents can use it, your team can use it. And, we'll be doing a lot of marketing to the public just to get people to download and start using the app. And the same thing there. It's like organic lead. They download it, they inquire in a property in, Palm Beach County, Florida. I don't know, that's going to Jamie's team, right? So, that's another thing. Like if when you think about that, unless they're already if they're already in the database, it'll just sync that lead up and just say, hey, this person inquired on a property, and whatever assigned agent that's assigned to, it'll still be the same.
And of course, the agents will have the ability to invite their database to download the app as well, right? Like via text, push,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
same thing. Yeah. So what'll happen, like if when that lead flow's coming in, and say they have other leads coming from other sources, whatever, if they have that turned on, it doesn't always have to be turned on. Like if they wanted the easy nurture turned on, they would just turn it on. It's a little slide toggle, say automatically invite the leads based on whoever that agent's assigned to. So it would come in and say if it was assigned to Travis, it would say, hey, Travis wants to invite you to start using Easy Home Search. We've already created a saved search for you. You could update the saved search amount, how often you receive that. Here's the app link to the app store if you want to download the app as well. All the information you do on the desktop or in the app is synced together. So everything will whatever they see in the app will also see on the desktop.
Last one I want to throw at you, Preston. Then I'll open up to questions from the audience here. But you mentioned another big lift for our team right now is Easy LO Connect. What's that? What's that look like? Like to the consumer, to the LO on the other side. What's your vision with that?
Um, well, I'll show you.
All right.
Let me let me open it up to make sure I don't have anything that's inappropriate on my desktop, which I don't. And just, sometimes I think I'm funny. Let me go to Figma. But it's going to have a lot of the same functionality as the agent pages, right? Like the agent landing pages. Um, Travis. So like the referrals. So because a lot of it's not going to be unless the team is using it, it's not going to be like they get follow up boss because, if it's an LO that comes from that is not attached to a team, maybe they're not using follow boss. So let me see here. So here's what the LO landing page. So somebody signs up. What initially they're added to the lender network, right? So the lender network's going to look like this. Every time a LO signs up, they have to register their company because to be compliant, we need to put their mortgage company in there. So it'll show up here. You could search by location, city, state, zip. You can search by name of the bank or the loan officer, and then preferred English will have English, Spanish, and I don't maybe others. I'm not sure on what we'll do there. And then this is what whenever somebody clicked into the LO, right? So same thing there. We'll be able to help them generate reviews. This is probably going to be a little bit more different because LOs typically they don't do as much self lead gen as real estate agents. So here, say somebody signs up, we'll give them a workflow to fill out. Most likely, a lot of times we'll help them build a Google My Business page if they don't have one, because obviously we need a Google My Business page for them to use the review software and the landing page where it doesn't look like they don't have any reviews, right? So any reviews that people send in, so they'll have a review page the same way to submit a review. It'll have their information, so all this information here would be able to be edited. We got to get their MLS, company MLS, loan officer MLS. There'll be leave a review button, so it'll just pop up to leave a review. The reviews are here. Down at the bottom is a loan calculator, so it's affordability, mortgage, and refinance. There's a home value, which is cool. Any of these home values would be assigned to whatever agent or team is in that county or market. Speak to a lender. And then there's going to be, just like this is a widget, there's going to be another one right between here and the LOs that is going to be a 20-step walkthrough. So it'll say, hey, get pre-approved now or whatever, start the pre-approval process. They'll step through that, and whenever that person finishes and submits, it's going to go to this LO. So it gives them a way that, obviously if somebody's willing to go through 20 steps, they're probably pretty committed about the process, right? They want to speak to somebody. If they just want to quickly ask a question, it'll be here. But yeah, I mean, that's in situ what it'll tell. It'll give them the ability to, and that widget that we're building for that walkthrough process, they could actually put on their own website. So they'll be able to use that as a way to generate their own leads. We're building a Zapier integration, so no matter what CRM they're using, we could push the leads into a CRM. And obviously, whenever the agent LO app launches, they'll be able to receive the leads there as well.
And in a perfect world, all that is connected, right? You talk about the messaging where the LO then kind of connect them to an agent. They have their home search, their connection to their LO and their agent, really all in one app. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat from a consumer standpoint. You don't have to jump around all these different places. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a real estate team, obviously get your agent, your LOs that you work with to sign up on here. It's going to make it super easy, especially once we launch the consumer app, to navigate and talk through them. And obviously, people like seeing reviews. They like receiving reviews. They do more homework than they used to, So when they go to a LO and they got 38 reviews, the cool thing here too, like this isn't only the easy home search reviews. We'll pull their Google reviews as well. So it'll just look like this. If we could grab a photo, it's going to grab a photo of the property. If not, it's just going to have like a standard photo that looks like this, right? Instead of just a blank gray space, it'll have a photo there and it'll give you the information. And then, the person, if they opt in to share their name, it would have their name there as well. So the same thing, like once LOs can push people to closed or push people to, because in the app, there'll be that button to click to ask them to leave a review. They just click that button, it automatically sends the email, it automatically sends the text. If they don't do it, it sends them a reminder a week later. If they don't do it, it sends them another reminder a week later. That answer your question?
It does. Yeah.
But
Lots.
it'll be something where it's like $100 a month or $99 a month or for the LO so if they're added into the directory, it'll be some like minimal cost associated with it. And then if they want help with lead gen and things like that, then obviously we could help with that too. And all those pages are indexed. So like over time, as we continue to generate more traffic and we're building out a bunch of content around home services and around lenders and mortgages and everything else. As we continue to build more and more content around that, we're just going to generate more traffic. How does it help the agents and the teams? More traffic on Easy Home Search, more people are searching, more people are inquiring. So it helps everybody.
All good things. Lots of our development team is working on lots of stuff right now. Any questions for anybody on here about stuff we've rolled out, stuff we have coming, any of the stuff that Preston just covered?
No questions? Travis Halverson, you're gonna have to dance or sing or something.
I can take my shirt off. You want me to?
Oh, no, don't do that. You need to get in the sun if you're taking your shirt
I
off.
know I need to. Ugh,
Michael,
I'm pumped.
Michael needs to get some sun on that forehead.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. If there's no questions, if y'all want to learn more, anybody here is not an Easy Home Search client. You want to learn more about a county exclusivity. A lot of it is beyond what we're doing too, like individual coaching. We do coaching, weekly coaching. We do Shut Up and Dial, which is open to the public, but there's a lot of other things with Easy Home Search that you get access to.
Partner with easy.com.
Yep. See y'all.
Guys, have a great day.